Hello.
Kenny came to spring training in 1989, made the ball club as a reliever. Not a whole lot of us knew that much about him. What do you remember about Kenny in his rookie year?
I remember him as what I thought was going to be a great relief pitcher, and it shows you how I scout. But yeah, I mean, he was a youngster that had no fear walking in the game late, and I thought he was going to stay in that position. Little did I know he'd end up pitching 20 years as a starter.
You were a relief pitcher early in your career, became a starter. Do all you guys want to be starting pitchers eventually?
I think anybody that's in the bullpen, especially when you're young, I think that's what you want to do, and it's a lot easier. Pitching out of the bullpen's awfully hard.
Ruben, I did a little research on how you did when you batted against Kenny Rogers. Do you have any idea? Do you have the feeling that you did well against Kenny or not so well against Kenny?
Sometimes I know that I had to be really patient with him because the way he pitched, you know, very smart, try to make me some chasing, you know, pitches to get me off balance a lot. So that's, when I face him, that's why I try to stay back and let him pitch and let him make mistake. So I can take advantage.
You have the feeling that happened a decent percentage of the time?
No, but it was good.
Well, as it turns out, the numbers show that you had 41 at-bats against Kenny, and you batted .317.
I guess I get lucky with him, you know.
Now, you did have the advantage of batting right-handed against the left-handed pitcher.
Well, I was good against lefty my whole career, so I try to do my best, man.
What was it like playing behind Kenny as an outfielder when Kenny was on the mound?
Well, you know, you gotta be really in, because a lot of people are gonna hit the ball at the end of the bat, you know, and get jammed because the way he pitched, you know, moving outside, change a lot of speed, come hard in. So I know I had to be real close to the infield.
Now, Rusty, were you real close to the infield when you made that catch in the perfect game in 1994?
No, I was so slow I had to play on the warning track. I like to come in. That's what I like to do. That's the only reason I had to dive for it, because I don't have any speed. But no, for me, I was a rookie at that time, and to play a role in a game like that for Kenny, it really did a lot for my career. And I just appreciate what he did for me. He got me a nice painting drawn up. It's in my house today, and I appreciate that game. And to this day, people come up and tell me, you know, I was at that game, and I saw you do this, and I saw Kenny do that. And it's so it had an effect on a lot of people's lives.
Well, there were 400,000 people at that game based on the number of people they saw it. How about you batting against Kenny? What was your approach when you were facing him?
For me, he always threw me breaking balls and sank the ball in on me, and I didn't like to face him because I didn't like to face left-handers really at all. I know I got one hit off of him. I hit off the end of the bat in between first and second, but I don't know after that. It's a little breaking ball away.
So you figure your average against Kenny was probably not quite as good as your overall .305 career batting?
I would say it's not close against Kenny.
You are correct, sir. You had 25 at-bats against Kenny with 6 hits. That would be a .240 average. And all of those hits would have been singles. So, nice going, Kenny. Now, Ruben, we haven't had a chance to talk to you since you went through the experience of being inducted into the Ranger Hall of Fame 2 years ago. A lot of people were really moved by your speech that day. What was that whole experience like? What was the night like? You know, riding in the car, getting inducted, and all of that. What are your memories of that?
That was something that I never thought that was going to happen to me in my whole career. You know, I was a guy that grew up playing baseball, you know, and I don't have too many PlayStation, Xbox, things like that, but you know, I have fun growing up playing baseball, and my heart was like that, you know. I was having fun playing baseball, and then when I get inducted, and I realize, you know, later on what I do, and I really appreciate what I do for the Rangers and what I do in my whole career. You know, sometimes things that you can control, but I just I'm trying to be successful in what I did.
Well, it was a wonderful night when you and Toby were inducted 2 years ago. Charlie, I want to ask you about pitchers fielding, because you know you were a really good fielder. Had a good kickoff move. you had a real quick release on bunts and rollers and stuff like that. But what did you see from Kenny as a fielder? I mean, when he first came up, he wasn't a total maniac diving for balls when they were hit past the mound, as I remember, or was he?
Seems like he was, yeah. He had the speed. I mean, when a guy's a good athlete, you can put that part into your game. Guys like me that were pretty slow, you just kind of get a little lucky and make a wild throw here or there. But, you know, good fielders, I think there's a natural ability in there, just like he had a natural ability to change speeds. Rarely do you see a kid that can walk out there and change speeds like he could. And, you know, it's just part of his game.
Kenny kept adding pitches over the course of his career, and I thought eventually he learned a knuckleball. But there are no knuckleballers left now other than Wakefield and R.A. Dickey. I guess there's the one kid, Charlie Hager, still pitching in the minors. When the Mets were here, I had a conversation with R.A. about this. He's really worried that he's going to be the last knuckleball pitcher because there aren't any coming up to his knowledge. Is that a legitimate concern?
No, I think somebody's going to do it. But, you know, I coach for the Dodgers. I work for the Dodgers. I've coached in the minor leagues forever, it seems like. And if you think about it, we're not looking for a guy with a bad arm. You know, we're going out looking for the guys that can throw 95, 100 miles an hour. That's who we're scouting. And if you go into the college programs, they're not looking for a guy with a bad arm. So the guy that can throw a knuckleball is really, they're out there, guaranteed they're out there. But they're not going to get discovered because they're not going to get a chance to pitch. Maybe with some of these independent leagues, we'll see somebody come through that and get a shot at it. But basically, we're not looking for anybody, like I said, with my arm.
All right. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it very much. Say hi once again to these Ranger Hall of Famers. We're going to bring up some more. Thank you, guys.